Stewart glancing into the Easter sun. Perfect to Mullen. Mullen's on the mark, so they can move it forward. Back to Muller where it started. Another important hand from Nash. They could be opened up the other way now. Impey takes a bounce. Hits 50, unselfishly chips it to space. Probably should have gone alone. Mitch Lewis, and a golden opportunity for the Hawks is still hanging around, but the Cats arrive. Chol throws himself at it. Still the ball's alive. Guthrie over it. Henry doesn't go anywhere. High pressure footy. Still inside 50 for the Hawks. Holmes brought down. Brilliant tackle. Umpire lets the players go. Continues to rise. Geelong try and clear the area. All the way back to Impey streaming inside.
Gee, brilliant contest everywhere. The Hawks are out.
Is he gone?
They are out everywhere.
I think that had to be a free kick. Ran him down, stripped him of the footy. Gotta blow the whistle.
Last minute and 17 of the second term. Edwards in the wrestle with Reeves. What a tap down. Watson to Ward. With Smother again to Koning this time. Bruin. Cats defending, but they can quickly turn that into attack. Bruin needed someone to come along for the ride. Guthrie was that someone. Out to Holmes. Covering the territory. Only really got Shannon Neal down the line. Puts faith in the big guy up against Hardwick, who makes it difficult for any customer. This time last year they were still experimenting with Hardwick as a forward. A few weeks later that was gone for good. He's a tooth and nail tough defender, and Sam Mitchell knows it now.
Reeves. Two hands out of the ruck. Ginnivan. Started the season well. Holmes tracks it back.
Manna's been quite Joey.
Yeah, it has been. All those small forwards, Close, Myers, Manna, very little influence.
Smith hasn't. He's at 20. Still time for the Cats. Close to ground. One umpire saw it, the other didn't, and they paid it at the other end against Perez. Plays on immediately. Flying shot deep in the turn. A second for that man Bowes. A couple of clutch moments. And now it's the Cats retake the lead by 3 points.
What a game. Was a game. You wouldn't expect anything different from these two combatants. They just love Easter Monday. It was always going to be close, Joe. It was always going to be an arm wrestle. This is smart, isn't it? To just give it off. Maybe didn't have the range. Good finish.
It is a good finish. The free kick was interesting. I was watching closely. There were 3 umpires in a triangle right there at the incident, and one of the 3 thought it was a free kick. The other 2 didn't.
It only takes one.
And that's exactly right. It was a free kick there, and the Cats, again, their conversion. So it's been an issue for them this season, their accuracy and conversion inside 50, but today been no problem.
He's used the ball superbly today, Jack Bowes. Minimal disposals, but a couple of goals and set a few up. Edwards. Prolonged tackle, prolonged pressure. Holmes, one last chance for Shannon Neal.
He's been huge, Edwards. I've really enjoyed his game. The follow-up stuff. Look at it, they're all getting to him in the middle. Well done, big fella.
Well, he's taken over the reins as the Cats key forward from our very own Tom Hawkins, who famously kicked the goal after the siren in a Hawthorn Geelong game. The circumstances are a little different. He's a little closer to goal. There's not quite as much riding on it. But at half-time to extend the lead for his second long-range goal, Shannon Neal has kicked it just like Tom. Oh. He doesn't mind the celebration either. What a corner, what an exhibition of football we are seeing. The Cats, with maybe a little bit of fortune from the whistle in that quarter, have kicked 7 goals and lead by 9 points. Let's get to Cameron Mooney.
Well, what an outstanding half of football. And what I loved at the end there from Hawthorn point of view is they finally put someone on Bailey Smith. It was young Butler that started running with him in the last 5 minutes that he needed to. Smith is the most damaging player in the game. We just see Butler here. This is the vision that we're going to show of him absolutely flying back inside defensive 50 to stay with him. Interesting to see what Mitch does in the second half, whether this tag stays with and they're going to need to because he's going to be the man that's going to take the game away from him in the middle of the field. Down the other end, Geelong, well, they need a couple of their big guys to stand up. Neil finally did, but I think Battle and Barras, Hutto have been playing so well. I think Ollie Henry's going to be the man in the second half. He's kicked a couple of goals in that first half. He might be the guy that might kick 4 or 5.
Thank you, Moons. What a contest. It is Geelong after a barnstorming second term. 9-2-56, leading the Hawks 7-5-47. Coming up, straight after tonight, of course, the coaches Sam Mitchell and Chris Scott. Originally they were coaching together at the State of Origin. They are enemies today here at the MCG, all part of 360. And then that man Tom Hawkins, part of the On The Couch crew with Jack and Geordie and Nathan Buckley, who's also in the coach's box today. That's on.
All right, folks, there we go. Welcome in. I tell you what, Easter Monday football at the MCG. This is a cracking game, I'll tell you what. But it's the Cats at half-time, 9-2-56, leading the Hawks 7-5-47. Of course, the Hawks had the lead at quarter time by 8 points. But the Cats came out strong. They came out running in that second term. The Hawks putting on 4 goals to the Cats. 7 goals won, I should say. 7 goals won. We are in for a cracking day. I tell you what, it's a beautiful day in Melbourne. 18 degrees, the MCG. A bit of sun shining out there. Tell you what, the stands are packed. And, of course, it's always a cracking ring-a-ding-ding game between Hawthorn and Geelong. But it's the Hawks at half-time, leading by 9 points. Of course, Shannon Neal kicking that goal after the siren on it was about a 60-degree angle from about 35 metres, 40 metres out, slotted it straight through the guts. And the Cats fans were up and about, out of their seats cheering. And of course, that's what we love to see, a fantastic game for Easter Monday football. And that's what we've got here today, folks, at the MCG. We're going to run through and have a look at some of the key stats. If anyone wanted to know who the first goal scorer of the game was, well, it was Jack Gunston of Hawthorn. He was the first goal scorer of the game. We'll be back with the commentators to give a bit of analysis on the opening half in just a moment. But until then, we're going to run down some of the goal scorers and disposal getters out on the ground at the moment here at half-time. And, of course, at half-time, we'll run through Hawthorn goal scorers first. Of course, Nick Watson, he's got 2 straight goals from his 4 kicks, so he's kicking accurate. There we go. Jack Gunston, the star from Hawthorn, 2 goals too for Jack Gunston. Mitch Lewis has bobbed in there with a single goal, as has Jack Ginnivan. Moab Chol also with a single there for the Hawks. For Geelong, of course, they've got 3 multiple goal scorers for the Catters. And, of course, Shannon Neal, who kicked that goal after the siren, he's got 2 straight goals. Oliver Henry, he bobs in there with 2 goals. And Jack Bowes also chimes in with a couple there for the Cats. Wiltshire's got 1. Jack Martin's got a single. Oliver Dempsey has a single there for the Cats. All right, let's pop over. Let's have a look at the disposal getters. We might even have a bit of time to look at the team stats up until halftime as well. There we go. There's only 2 players in the 20 possessions. Of course, one comes from either team, but the leading disposal getter out on the ground at halftime at the moment, folks, of course, is Josh Ward. Having a cracking game there for Hawthorn. He's had 21 disposals. That consists of 9 kicks, 12 handballs. He's had a couple of marks, 3 tackles, 2 clearances. So he's going fantastic. Bailey Smith doing what he does. The man with the long blonde locks on 20 disposals there for the Cats. 15 kicks, 5 handballs, 4 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances. I think we're about to head back down to the commentators. They'll give a little bit of analysis on the opening half, and then we'll come back and do some more of the stats.
Quality game. Martin has been in amongst the goals for the Cats. And what about the Hawks? And this guy and Nick Watson, a brilliant boundary snap. The Hawks have been sensational, but strangely, they trailed the Cats by 9 points at half-time. Jason Dunstall, Davey King and Lee Montagna. The Cats have made the most of their opportunities. The Hawks have probably let a few slip.
been a great contest, though. I mean, if you wanted to watch a fantastic game of football, this is where you need to be today. I've been absolutely enthralled by it. Cats taking their opportunities. That, to me, is the difference on the scoreboard at the moment. They've kicked them from everywhere, but both teams having their moments and having their way with the opposition at times.
Yeah, this is the footy that we get. We get two quality teams going up against one another. Every time the team wins the ball back or has the ball in their hands, it looks like they're going to score. It feels still like Hawthorn have had the better of the play. As you touch on, Geelong have been able to convert some chances, maybe got lucky from a couple of stoppages that have been marked and those sorts of things, but this game's still absolutely in the balance, and fascinated to see how it pans out.
Well, the scoring power of both teams, you just see whenever they get the ball, you can see they're out. They're out everywhere and they're charging towards goal. I think Hawthorn have lost their way a little bit in that second term when they stepped forward of centre. They had 2 or 3 opportunities. One, Gunston was free. One was the chip kick from Impey, which missed. They really should be leading this game, but coughed up that last 90 seconds of footy.
Just a little bit of execution. I mean, there is pressure out there. It's a fast-paced game. A couple of players have just missed targets, running at speed, and Josh Battle, I think, took the decision to have the long shot of goal when he could have found Chol or Gunston. So that's the difference. The quality of conversion and execution from the Cats has been first rate.
And as we expected, a battle royale in the coaches' box between two of the finest in the game. We're going to have a look at some Harvey Norman highlights, and Bailey Smith, 20 boos, we're calling it, because every time he touches the football, Jace, well, the crowd goes wild.
It's covering the ground. I mean, they had to put a tag on him late just to try and quell some of the influence, but it's not just the number of possessions. He gets it, he runs, he carries, and then he's taking it inside 50.
Yeah, he's creating holes too for his teammates. So often he's the extra number that draws a defender out. Plays like this, where they just can't quite get there, and you start your overlap chains. And his ball use, I reckon, has been really good today. His kicking efficiency reads at 40%, but I think he's been better than that.
Yeah, I reckon too. And not just covering the ground, the speed that he covers the ground as well. And I was glad they've got this clip loaded up, because you see where it started, centre half back, finishes up forward. Same with the clip prior. He was all the way back on the other side of the ground. And just the work rate to be able to set up his teammates. He really almost single-handedly for a little period there in that first quarter, when no other midfielder for Geelong could get their hands on the footy. He was the one that was able to drive the ball inside 50 and get it down the Cats' end, because for a while there the Hawks were dominating.
438 metres game. He has been a key mover. So Cats fans will love him. Hawks fans will love to hate him. I think you probably put Jack Ginnivan in a similar category for the opposition. He is the #1 ranked player on the ground, and he's been really crucial, Jace. A couple of key players swung momentum for the Hawks.
He's been very good. He's had a couple of interceptions. I think one was on Ollie Dempsey, the other was on Ollie Henry, where he actually caused turnovers and then was able to rebound the ball. I think it's been an outstanding first half for him. We just saw some numbers there, though. The Cats from clearances have come in chunks at the moment. I mean, Hawthorn dominated the clearance early in the first quarter, got ahead on the scoreboard, then the Cats won it back, and the Cats in that second quarter, you can just see now 5 goals from clearance. That's a big number to record.
3 out of the centre bounce has been the big difference.
Edwards has been good in there, and Stewart was really good with one creative play. I just look at this from Watson, and I just wonder if there's something they can explore here on Mullen, who's incredible in terms of diligence to task when there's a drop of ball situation. But at stoppage, I think he's gettable with subtle blocks like this. He almost doesn't know what to do now. He doesn't really know what angle to run, how to get back to him. He's lost contained. So he gets the goal with the first time, and the second time he gets a mismatch. And he knows what to do when this is the case. He's just off and gone. And that's, for me, an opportunity for this young man to get to as many clearances as he can. I'd love to see him in the centre bounces. Let him free up. Let him cook.
That's why he doesn't have to be just in inside 50 stoppages, does he? He can get up the ground, and we've seen him do it earlier this season and still provide a real spark.
Is Jack Ginnivan pouring honey directly into his mouth then?
No idea. No idea, Sarah. Nothing would surprise me. If that's where he's getting his energy, keep doing it. He's played an outstanding first half.
He's been brilliant behind the ball, hasn't he? He's been caught there, Jason. We saw him
and a couple of times where he had to be physical, keep his feet, and win a contested ball. I thought he was brilliant.
Well, the Hawks have been better. So while the Cats have scored from clearance, the Hawks have been able to score more off turnover. And sometimes it's just individual brilliance, reading the cues, coming forward, intercepting, and then forcing it going back the other way. And you call this one kicky during the game. Now, Impey just came off his man, read the ball, and then wasted no time. You know, as a player, when you're in the middle of the ground and you intercept the footy, that's the time you can catch the opposition defence napping, and they're able to score off that. And then Jack Ginnivan playing as a wingman, rolling back back with Ollie Dempsey to leave his man to get that important hand in, which would have been a shot on goal that set up a couple of chances for the Hawks in this quarter, was really important. So Hawthorn's turnover game, which has been terrific all season, is in really good shape in this first half, and that's why I still think they're doing a lot right and confident that they can go on with it after half-time.
We didn't see as much link play, did we? As much handball from the Hawks. Saw a lot of that early. I think the Cats closed it down. Yeah. Their pressure, they upped the ante, and they cut off that corridor before the Hawks were able to use it. A lot of questions being asked by both coaches. As we saw Jeremy Cameron roll up and play more as a wingman or a high forward, if you like, in that second term, and Dempsey slide forward. So that seemed to work for them.
Yeah, it did, and they moved blitz halves over to Weddle on the wing, and then when that changed, they put Dempsey back onto the wing. So fascinating matchups everywhere, but there are the numbers in regards to the turnover differential battle, which we know is a huge stat in determining most teams' wins and losses.
Brilliant stuff there. What insights into this game. It is an epic as we expected. It's certainly living up to the marquee billing. We've got more to come after this break on Fox Footy. John Ralph is up next with all the big selection news. Heading into Gather Round, it is going to be a special weekend for footy as the football world heads to South Australia for plenty of fun and the great game we love.
Hi, I'm Jack Goodman and welcome to South Australia. Checked into this amazing location. I've got a sauna in my backyard, so that's pretty cool. And then obviously the pool, and the sun was out today, so laying in the sun was epic, Went down to the beach, had some fish and chips, and also went to Pippi's and also a quad bike session. Obviously doing it with my best mate Sam was pretty fun, and racing him around the dirt tracks is always a bit of fun.
All right, well, they're on a break. Hey, Boston, what's going on? Happy Easter, Squire. Tell you what, I did forget to get all my chocolate Easter eggs. I'll have to get them during the week when they're quarter price. But that's the best time to get all the chocky Easter eggs and all the chocky. I tell you what, ring-a-ding-ding game here we've got on here at the moment at half-time. Of course, 9 points is the margin, Geelong's way. Who's going to win? I don't know. She's a tight old tussle there at the moment. Hey, let's get back to some of these... the players' stats just at the moment. We did see that Josh Ward leading the way from Bailey Smith. John Newcomb next best, 5 possessions away. 15 for the Hawks, 6 and 9, 3 clearances. There we go. Tanner Braun on 14 for the Cats with Mullen on 13. Tommy Stewart on 12. Let's just roll down the board a little bit. Jarman Impey there for the Hawks on 12. Ambrosio and McDonald also 12 and 11 disposals there. Let's see who else we've got. Maxie Holmes, he's a little bit quiet at the moment for the Cats. He just had the 11 touches. I'm sure he's going to have a breakout second half here. Just the 8 kicks, 3 handballs, a couple tackles for him. That's all so far. Jack Gunston, well, he looks done. He's getting plenty of the ball, 10 disposals, 8 kicks, 2 handballs, 5 marks. They're hitting him lace out, which is good stuff. 2 goals, 2 for the Jack Gunston. Sicily, he's just had the 9 touches down back. He's going to be working hard against the forwards of the Catters. Ginnivan, 9 touches for the Mouth of the South, 7 kicks, 2 handballs, and a goal. As I said, the Wizard Watson, 8 touches, 4 and 4 for his 2 goals there. Jeremy Cameron, I'll tell you what, another one who usually comes red hot in the second half and definitely in the final quarter of games. He's had 8 touches, 4 kicks, 4 handballs, only kicked the one behind though. So we're going to be looking out for Jeremy Jezza Cameron to have a big second half here on the big stage on Easter Monday at the MCG. Should be a ripper. Let's head on down. Who else we got? Mitchell Edwards there, one of the rucks there. He's had 10 hit-outs, 7 disposals, 4 clearances, a couple of tackles there. And, of course, Ned Reeves for the Hawks, 6 touches, 3 and 3. He's had 13 hit-outs with 2 clearances as well. The other one also, Lloyd Meek, the other tall man doing a bit of the ruck work for the Hawks, just the 4 disposals, 1 kick, 3 handballs, 1 clearance, 13 hit-outs for him. Blixars, he's a little bit quiet today. Just the 5 touches there for the Cats, 3 and 2. Dempsey, he want to get into the game a little bit more too, just the 5 touches. 2 and 3 with the 1 goal. That's probably about all we want to head down there. Let's just have a little bit of a look at quickly some of the team stats before the commentators come back. Just before we go there, let's just have a look at the live ladder for all the Cats and Hawthorn fans out there. If the Cats end up winning this game, they're going to jump up into 7th spot after playing 4 games. That'll be 3 wins and 1 loss. 91% is their percentage at the moment, where the Hawks, if they happen to lose this game, they'll have played with 2 wins and 2 losses with a nice percentage here of 112.5. But if Hawthorn do happen to win, they'll go on to 12 points, and that'll jump them up into 6th spot. There we go. So if the Cats happen to lose, the Cats will be sitting on around 12th position. So it's already there's big results for either team, whether they win or lose this game. Just have a quick look at the team stats. We've got Hawthorn there, plus 16 in the disposals overall. Just the 3 kicks plus to the Hawks, but they're 13 handball. Inside 50s, both teams going around even there. 28 inside forward 50 for Hawthorn, 12 scoring shots. The Cats 26 inside their forward 50 for 11 scoring shots. Disposal efficiency, not too bad there, 70% for the Cats. 68, a little bit low there for the Hawks, and about 53 and 50% going inside forward 50. Free kicks favouring Geelong just a little bit. 11-7 there, plus 4 there. The hit-outs, the Hawks doing the job there, doubling the Cats, 26-13. Clearance is pretty tight there, 17-15. Cats getting the better in the centre clearances, 8-5. They're plus 3 there. But the Hawks a little bit tidier around the stoppage clearances, 12-7 there, plus 5 there. Looking at contested possession, Hawthorn doing a little bit better there. They're plus 7, so not too bad. It's reasonably even there, 64-57. Uncontested possessions, pretty much the same, 117, 113. Turnovers are on about season average for both teams. The marks, the Cats up there by 11. Marks inside 50, both teams hitting up their forwards reasonably well. 9 to the Hawks, 8 to the Cats. That's going just a little bit above season average so far. Contested marks, well, it's pretty hard to get the contested marks at the moment, 2-3. And we want to have a look at the tackle count. I always like this, folks, to see the teams putting the pressure on. I always like to see big numbers here. The Hawks definitely lifting their game in the tackle count here today. 35, they're bringing the pressure to the Cats. 26 to the Cats. Cats under a little bit. They need to lift that intensity a little bit. Hawthorn tackling just slightly better inside the forward 50, 7-5. They're plus 2 there. All right, there we go. We are only a minute and a fraction outside of the bounce of the ball for the second half, the start of the third quarter. So we are going to head back down to the commentators, and they're going to run us into the bounce of the ball for the third quarter, whereas the Cats at halftime leading by 9 points.
Got a lot of the game on their terms. They're doing a pretty good job. Just finished their work inside 50.
Yeah, I'd be doubling down on the aggression. Their run and gun through the corridor has been really strong. And if they are to counteract Stewart, who's a holding defender, then it's going to require a fair bit of corridor opportunity or exploration. And then probably Bailey Smith is a talking point from the Hawthorn point of view to challenge in midfield, to do it as a group, to set one man the task, which is probably hard to do and goes away from what they want. But that's a credit to Bailey for putting that sort of first half to the Hawks.
But right now, this game's absolutely up for grabs. Whichever team can get more of the ball off turnover, get some ascendancy, they're going to get good looks. And just being able to finish. And we might have another Easter Monday epic.
Cats have kicked 6-1 from set shots, haven't they? So that can be the tail of the tape in the end, as we know.
And it was a huge non-call by the umpire. We don't want to bash umpires, but it was a huge non-call to hold the ball on Holmes. At one end, it goes down the other, and they draw a free kick. But them's the breaks.
This is how we like our footy to be. Third quarter, Easter Monday, and Edwards continues his prominent role. Got the tap down. Holmes face to face against Nash. He won the ball, stripped of it. Impey went big, and his rush kick is marked by Ginnivan. The forwards hold for now. It's Ward's kick that'll take it there. De Koning left his man back against Lewis, who now challenge him at ground level. Henry happy to absorb, and we'll have the ball up some 30 out from Hawthorn's goal.
Hawthorn by 8 at quarter time. 7 goal to 4 term. Established the Cats half-time break. Neil kicked one after the siren. A couple of good finishes. Falls to Moore. Should stroll in and misses. So again, the Hawks not able to take toll in front of the sticks.
And a great set play from the forward 50 ball up. That was planned the whole way. Got it to the outside. Did Meek, but wasn't able to finish.
Wilson Humphries. At the last moment, just takes what was ahead of him, and that was Tom Stewart. Captain for the day in the absence of Patrick Dangerfield. Along the lines of Blitzarves and Weddle. Holmes, reaction was good. Myers, Blitzarves, the boundary's best sanctity on this occasion.
That's the thing about the Cats too. They take this lead. We're looking at the Hawks, but they've got upside as well. You mentioned that Myers, Manor, hardly had any influence. Brad Close as well. Tommy Atkins just 5 disposals. So a lot of Cats can lift in this second half.
Blitzarves, who made his debut on this day in 2013. He plays 300th next week. Lassu.
It's not the smartest move there from... I don't know who we've never questioned for his footy IQ, but just to dribble it off his foot.
Looks like Bailey Smith really doesn't have anyone going with him at the moment, Kingy, which is a bit of a concern.
Lewis comes from behind, gets a good piece of it, can't bring it to ground. Ward had lots of it. Weddle had his moments. Now Impey with a bit of dash. Pokes it inside 50. Gunston plays it well to get behind Henry. Looks what's inboard. Gunston picks it up cleanly from an angle. Jack Gunston. It'll go to review, you think. He's not short, it hit the post.
I think it hit the umpire. Hit the umpire's foot there. I think it's a goal.
It's not one of the best goals we've seen.
Umpire's call is one behind. Please check we hit the post.
Review underway.
Gee, it's incredibly skillful to be able to even put this to challenge.
Just takes the wind out of a potential goal of the year, doesn't it?
I don't think they nicked.
Stand by.
This is the difference between 50,000 and a million frequent flyer points and a behind.
Might be a snick.
Cigarette paper.
Just the faintest of edges.
Looking at these angles, we can see a spike on edge as the ball passes the post.
He's got to walk now. He's back to the pavilion.
Off he goes.
Just no theatre.
It's really not. It really sucks the energy out of the moment.
Deflating.
Reduces the margin back to 7 as Holmes takes off. Cameron and his thoughts. And he lifts his rating. A floating ball for Stewart, who turned at the right moment. It was... back to long. They're going to inflame the Hawthorn fans. Right touch into Humphries. Super short to Myers. Started to get creative in the second term. And that's a bit of a nothing kick. Impey's been outstanding. Cutting them off and then starting the run again of the Hawks.
Hawks go back. Only about 6 metres to Sicily. Hardwick wanted to go laterally. Harris typically just hoofs it in this area. Takes a bit off it. Maybe should have just hoofed it because it's straight to Bailey Smith. He sends it back from where it came. Meeks in good position. A big Lloyd stands up and takes control.
You can see the Cats want to try and block the corridor. And they're trying to force the Hawks to go around them, not through them, like we saw in that first half.
They've gone very wide here. Kept it under their control for now. Dylan Moore back again.
Yeah, this is good. Just probing, working with the outnumber and trying to then find corridor.
Couple of wobbles. Jack Martin's not the man you want to wobble the ball to either, although his left foot was shut back down. Good response from Battle and Hardwick, and eventually it's outside 50 to D'Ambrosio. And down the line again to Big Meat. Can they put some pace on this?
Mitch Lewis wants it contested down the line. Big Lloyd just stopped. The umpire said, you need to keep playing. Watson, the smallest man, as he always is in the contest, receives it back. Nash thought about Ginnivan. In the end, pulls the trigger to Gunston. Oh, well done, Henry. Came back. Just got a hand on it. Or Gunston was going to mark. Still having a bit of trouble clearing defence. O'Sullivan goes the old-fashioned barrel to the outer wing. Lloyd will just lope after it.
They missed another golden opportunity there, Hawthorn. They had Butler coming off the bench. So he was streaming down the open side of the 50 all on his own. They just couldn't find him.
Big Meek was hoping for a 50-metre penalty, which wasn't forthcoming. Edwards caught in the crush from Lewis. Humphries is there as well. Cats' defence being tested early in the third quarter, as they were at the start of this game.
High contact.
Nash doing some ruck work, which is interesting. When you've got two ruckmen, you've got Nash doing a ball up.
And he's becoming a problem for them as well, Edwards. I think he's been terrific today.
What a kick for a big guy. To Cameron, to half forward, awkward for Atkins. Nash playing in front of Neil. Slick stuff for Sicily to Perez, who's about to be hunted down. Wobbly kick gets to Ginnivan. Humphries, I'm not sure how he disposed of that. Same issues for Atkins, basically just threw it out. Holmes threw it on the boot. And a couple of hawks there to raffle it. Sicily, the captain, seniority clause is invoked.
So a couple of nervous moments in defence to both sides to start the second half. Battle to Ward, up to his 24th disposal. Forward by hand, Nash. D'Ambrosio measures it down the line. Lewis takes a good mark in front of Stewart. Gunston's the deepest forward, as he has been all day for the Hawks.
Just not letting it come at speed. The Cats slowing them down. They get the defence organised behind this.
Really slow play, back by hand to Battle. And this is what they avoided in the first half, going long with the Geelong spares. Might work out. McDonald, Moore, DeConing, body on the line, does really well. Watson applies the tackle.
I'm not sure if it's intentional or just the way the Cats are defending. They've lost a little bit of dare to start this third quarter, Hawthorn, compared to how they were playing at the start.
Watson's the one. You're trying to get a block on Watson if you can.
Bailey Smith just takes some territory. Henry and Sicily. Captain back onto it first. The tackle from Henry couldn't stop it to Weddle. Deep to the goal square again. Probing ball. Gunston 2 to deal with. He beat them both. Henry claiming that he touched it. He is adamant, but it can't be reviewed.
Step forward 1 metre, please. Step forward 1 metre. Step forward 1 metre.
Had a bit of fortune with it. Snick of the post early. Gunston. They're not going to take that one off him. 3 goals for Jack Gunston. And Hawthorn looked potent at the start of this third quarter. It's back to 1 point.
7 shots at goal for Jack Gunston. He just continues to get better. Might be on track for a Coleman medal. But Geelong should have done better there, really. The 2v1. The ball sat up. It wasn't, I thought, a great kick from Weddle. Initially, when it came off the boot, I thought, Geelong should easily be able to stop that. But Henry just mistimed his jump. DeConing didn't do enough. And that's all Gunston needs to make them pay.
It's a big one-on-one with Sicily and Henry in the middle of the ground. Sicily's so calm and composed. He sets them on the path that's been against that there. Yeah, Josh, jog onto that. Very good touch, James Sicily.
Gunston continuing on his merry way. Newcomb always struggled to get his feet moving, and he's been pinned for holding the ball, so Holmes is the recipient. Blitzarve streams forward, drops it into the path of Neil. Really well done. Battle looked at Barras, and there's a bit of confusion between the two. And Neil's kicked 2 beautiful goals and gets a chance for a third.
Great early use there, Kingy, wasn't he? Just jumped a little bit early there just to get his knee into his back to push him under the ball. That is a fantastic contested mark.
One from outside 50 and one from 40. Set shots straight through the middle for Neil. Brings it back nicely. Neil's got 3. And Geelong, as they have all afternoon, respond again.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing really groundbreaking from that possession. Just a free kick win. Holmes again, just happy to take it on. Just kick to a contest. He set Neil a bit of a task, but they just backed their forwards in. He was up to it. Just see there off the ball.
Barras has lost. He's lost 4 one-on-ones in terms of being outmarked in his last 50 contests. That's a big win. That is a huge win. He's set to defend that ball, tried to get his ample frame in the way, and just the sheer size of Neil in the end overpowered him.
And make the use 3 set shots, 3 goals.
Yeah. And that's been the gap in the game. 10-2 to 8-7. Take Einstein to tell you that, but good forward craft.
Who did Einstein tip, do you think, today? Who would he go for now? It's Geelong by 7. Neil not even played 50 games, but improving each week. Hawks out of the middle, but then the fumble came, so it's back there to be picked up if someone can show them how. And it's Ginnivan that emerges. Goes again to Gunston. Why not? Henry didn't mark. Gunston's still there with more. And Guthrie just in the nick of time. Got the handball away. Blitzers. Bowes. Handball on their mind here, Geelong. Bruin and out to close. Back to Bruin. Might be forced to kick this time. And he kicks well to Holmes, which could create anything on the other side of the ground. Out wide for Cameron again. He is the longest distance from home. Neil is on the bike. Gets there. No, Scrimshaw got there. And turns it back Hawthorn's way.
Chol's out ahead of the footy if they can get it that way. Sisser looks in the area. Chol lurking. Stewart as he does. A rise with a big fist.
Oh.
And a nice bit of body work too. Myers got one high.
He sort of got away with one there, I think, Tom. Was paid the push in the back earlier. Very similar incident in front of us, but
Shannon Neil in some trouble.
and this guy's having an influence now, Cameron, up the field. We saw him working the wing, working from behind the ball, started third term.
Hawks fans getting frustrated as well with the free kick count. Now up to 16-7 in favour of the Cats.
Still labouring there, Shannon Neil. His kick was far from perfect to Smith. It allows Nash in. Gunston's running back to goal, and that will spell trouble. He's got to get someone to kick it to him more. Caught up in the crush. Geelong turn it back their way. And Smith and Holmes, the Dash brothers, started off. Bowes to close to Blitzers. He's got O'Sullivan to his left. He didn't, or maybe he did see him. Oh, here he comes, O'Sullivan, but the ball's going to get away. And that is one that got away.
You're giving him too much credit for seeing him, I think, hello.
Maybe.
It was almost take a mulligan. There's Neil just getting his right foot trapped up underneath.
Game not with the polish of the first half so far. Impey's been fantastic. He shut Manor out of the game and provided run. Down the line for Lewis. Cannon into Cameron. Took a good mark. McDonald. Don't want to kick long because Geelong have got spare defenders, including Stewart back there. Perfectly weighted. A child dropped it. Dalton. Nash. Geelong just getting hands in when needed. And good tackle, Guthrie. And again, the Hawks can't get it inside 50.
And both teams are up defensively. It feels like at half-time the message from the coaches would have been that you need to apply pressure, because if you turn the ball over or give this other side a look, they're going to punish. So both teams cranking it up, as we just see there.
Yeah, another turnover. Another chance for Hawthorn to go forward. In front, Henry. McDonald. Good hands to Chol. Henry. Brilliant from McDonald with a hunt. Goes unwhistled to the frustration of the Hawks. They win it back through Dalton. And then Reeves' kick. McDonald turns into Blitzers. Back Ryan's to a halt. Someone complete a play.
Well, they look a bit haphazard with the footy at the moment, the Cats, but I tell you, they're a handball away from really striking here.
Reeves. Perfectly to Ginnivan. Ran into a wall of Cats. Bowes slings him off the football. High pressure game now. Dalton, the young man, out of the pack. Misses.
A lot of pressure on out there.
There is.
Tackle sticking for the Geelong Footy Club.
There's a pressure factor this quarter, up over 190. I've liked Jack Dalton. He hasn't had a stack of ball, just the 8 touches, but you can tell that he certainly knows what he's doing out there. Looks like he's going to be a nice long-term play for the Hawks.
Just a couple of VFL games and then straight in.
They're taking some risks by foot down back, the Cats.
Cornered at the moment, pushed back. Stewart. Under Jack Henry. Another noted kicker. That's okay. To O'Sullivan. Just popped it over to Humphries, and that's not there for him now. Takes the longer option. Let's see if Neil's recovered. He's in the pack, and the footy is out. A chance to take a breath. The third quarter, which has only produced 2 goals. So far, 1 each.
Jack Martin's just come back on, Hutto. He just got his right calf strapped, so we're just watching him at the minute.
What a sight. What a day this always is. And the footy to match. It's tight, it's intense. Back forward, Butler, and well handled by Guthrie again for Geelong.
Hawthorn pretty well set up behind the ball, so they just go short.
Smith's on the charge again.
Bruin. He covers some ground when you watch him live. Bailey Smith. This is possession 24. He's trying to stretch the Hawks. Humphries. Bit of dash through the middle. And splits it out wide. Myers. He's got runners inboard. Hawthorn jumpers streak back. Too short to Cameron. D'Ambrosio runs him down. Spits out the back to Guthrie, who's had an influence. Dempsey somehow created space to get the kick inside 50. Battle, Barris, landed in his hands, couldn't mark it. Neil, close. A lot of players around the footy.
Everything's hard forward at the moment, Kingy.
Yeah. They love these forward 50 stoppers. They'll get a block on. Dempsey will come through at speed.
Reeves, he hands it off. That is a dangerous tactic. So close to goal with a vacant goal square. Just takes a reflex grab and a quick snap, and anything is possible. The hard part is winning the footy. Newcombe as good as anyone, but taken over the line by Bowes.
A better result from a Cats point of view. You get a bit more space to work with.
Cats throw in. Yeah, they are. But they're also set up with 3 extra outside their forward 50. So if the Hawks do win it, they can't just kick it back out because Hawthorn, the Cats are set up well.
Last rays of sun over the southern stand. There's a holding whistle, and it's going Hawthorn's way, and they, by the sound of things, think it's about time.
Yeah, block gone wrong. Just a hold in the end.
Brass goes back to Hardwick. He's got Dalton in the pocket. I'm not sure about the safety of that. It's a long ball. Humphrey's in good position. They'll come again here, the Cats. Bruin wraps around. Lawson waits. Wants someone to come towards him. Just pumps it inside 50. Scrimshaw back with a flight. Tries to kill it. Close off the ground. Post.
Odd kick, wasn't it, from close? And now Battles taking it back out towards Chol. Edwards hasn't quite learnt that aspect yet. He's done a lot right today. Chol to the inside to Nash. He's got Perez, he's got Reeves, and he's got Ginnivan. And Ginnivan was the most compelling course to take. Down to Weddle. As he go, he's got Gunston in the square. De Koning is between him. And Weddle says, I am taking this on. We've seen long goals kicked at this end today already. Cats have kicked 7-1 from set shots.
Gunston's done a hammy on the lead.
Oh, no.
He's done a hammy as he led.
Weddle out to the right. It is coming! And the Hawks fans with a Weddle yell! No, they are back within 2.
Yeah, I think the big story as we go to the Bunnings build-up is Gunston grabbing that right hamstring as he took off from the square. This kick back into the middle, they just, when they come through the corridor, they've got Geelong's defensive 50 covered. When they play same line and static football and allow the Geelong defence to get set, they're in trouble. But the big story right here is Jack Gunston, who hasn't moved. 40 from goal now. He's just starting to motion back to the goal square, which is a great sign. But he grabs the right hammy here. Look at him. Just pulls up on that lead. You just wonder whether they take any risks with him right now. He's clearly feeling okay.
Every Hawthorn fan is hoping cramp for the number 19. So Weddle with a fine finish. Brings it back to a 2-point game. Gunston continues to stretch the hammy in the goal square. Smith can't get a possession. Ward, clean. Just slipped as he went to kick it. Smith will get it in the end. Bailey lopes it out. Bowes kicked a couple.
Oh.
Dempsey's on a short lead. Gets it.
Thought he might have missed a trick there, Jack Bowes, but he just took his time. He knew that when Brad Close had pushed forward that they then had Hawthorn outnumbered. So he just had to assess his options, wait for the right one.
Just 6 disposals for Dempsey, but he's kicked a goal from outside 50, which I think he told us was his first from that range. Gunston just trotting around, just testing things out.
First of his life, I think.
Right. Certainly the AFL anyway. You just cruise inside 50 for this one. Their kicking has been spectacular all afternoon. That one right to the goal square, and coming back is the Hawthorn skipper.
And he decides to move it. And on the way out again via Hardwick. Entangled Joel and O'Sullivan. The spoil allowed. Atkins. Follow up from Mullen was good. Smith again. Humphreys out wide. Dempsey might get another shot, or he might not. Scrimshaw puts pay to that.
Well done, Jack. Great contest from O'Shea Mullen up on the half-forward flank. He's caught one for his troubles. Looks like he's hobbling over the corky. And then Scrimshaw to come across and get the fist in. Crowder enjoying this one.
Yeah.
So they should. It's an Easter Monday beauty.
Look at the passion of Jarman Impey too. And his support for his teammate Neil. The tap read by Bowes, but Ward read the play equally as well.
61 games, Dempsey. Sticks 65 goals, 24 from the goal square. And today's first from outside 50. Hello?
Yep. The star he is in the mould of Peter Mattia on the wing, kicking goals. Bowes, Smith, possession number 27 for Bailey. Second one was high, so the first one was okay, second one was high. Gunston's coming to the bench, so keep an eye on this, Moons. It's a pretty important hamstring for Hawthorn fans. So Bruin drops it back to Stewart. Lateral switches on. O'Sullivan, Myers. Concerns here for the Hawks. Wonderful hitting targets inside 50. Graham Myers. Gunston down the rooms.
Gone down for an assessment.
Chipping ball into the pocket. Big Lloyd stands above, doesn't claim the mark. Dangerous area for the Hawk defenders. Battle hurries out of defence. Back to Myers. Shovels it to Dempsey. Back to Myers. Wrapping around to Cameron. Danger, but there's a man back in the square. Hawks hanging in there.
Good work to deny by this Hawthorn defence.
And they've lost their shape forward of the ball, so they're just going to have to really work their way through it here.
Goes out to Sicily, no time at all. He realised the handball was on to McDonald. He fired it out to Weddle, and the game changes. Hawks on the move through the middle. He gave, he got back. Weddle can stretch out. He's got Lewis inside 50, and Lewis will take the mark. 40 metres out from goal. There's runners everywhere. But he's going to take it himself, it seems. What a run from Weddle.
Yeah, they're going to have to step up to these tools for the Hawks with Gunston going from the field with what looks like a hamstring. Gee, when Weddle gets the ball, the speed of the game just changes.
Mitchell Lewis just 5 disposals for the day. Kicked 3 against the Cats last time. Has 1. Would dearly love another. To put Hawthorn back in front. Never looked likely. Near side miss from Mitch Lewis.
I'd even look at throwing Weddle on ball now. I just think he's the most likely to inject some speed into the game. We know the coach likes to throw that magnet around a little.
6 scores to 3 for the quarter. 2 goals, 4 to 1-2.
Well, there's life, there's hope for Gunston. He's back up on deck. So it looked like he wants to get back out there. Mullen just checked. Couple little steps. Meek misses everything. Impey's been fantastic. Hardwick works in the small area. Humphrey's in good position. Gets away from him though. Clean gather from Newcomb. Back to McDonald. Now the lead comes into the pocket. Lewis on the stretch. Just a good little patch for the Hawks the last 4 or 5 minutes. Wants to lay it off and does. Not 15. Chol wasn't even realising it was coming his way. Dalton's in the square. Bailey Smith runs it out. Buries it as best he can out of defence. Perez overruns it.
That was a terrible decision.
That was easily 15 metres, I thought.
Get back as the Hawks go inside. On Ginnivan McDonald. Complete breakdown in communication, and the Cats will escape again.
If the Hawks can get out of each other's way, they can get the lead back here. The pursuit is on. Look at the strides from big Shannon Neal. Closed down Impey, had Barris in his back pocket. And he's not in the back pocket, he's at half back, so he's a long way from his most comfortable domain. Close takes it on the wing, he waits. Now he's got an option, he's got Jack Martin in his sights, but instead he went for Cameron.
Who's got Ollie Henry all alone. If he can get to his feet, he's out of gas.
Still screaming for it, Ollie, in the pocket.
Gee, that was good from Shannon Neal. Just to put them under enough pressure to go at a speed they couldn't handle. There he is, just forcing an errant kick. Unrewarded running, little things having a big impact on this game.
This man hasn't had the impact in the normal style with big goals, Jeremy Cameron. But he has got up the ground. He's had 13 disposals. Hasn't kicked a goal in the last fortnight. 88 last year. He's missed that one to the left.
Moons, what are you seeing with Jack Gunston down there on the bench?
Look, he's been getting the work done on that hamstring. The fact that he went down to the rooms, he's back up, and they haven't called it. He's not sitting up the back. He's back onto the bench now at the front. I still think he's a chance. They're clearly going to wait till three-quarter time, so we'll talk about him more then.
Cameron Mooney on the boundary alongside Anthony Hudson, Lee Montagna and David King.
28 seconds until that break.
Meek in good position, comes from behind. Watson kicked a couple of goals, hasn't had a great deal of the footy. Just 9 disposals.
Back to the outside. Newcomb, the Hawks get the last shot. Lewis demands it, and his demands are met. Oh no, he plays on to Ginnivan just before the bell. As we had at half-time, a shot after the siren, this time with a footy in the hands of a Hawk. In the hands of a man who is very accustomed to the spotlight, which he's got right now, Jack Ginnivan. 15 disposals. Been more of a ball-winning Jack Ginnivan today. He has kicked a goal. But can he kick another? A decisive yes! And those Hawthorn scenes and momentum to go with it. It will be the Hawks that have the lead. Bailey Smith's just forgot which team he's playing for a minute. Two of the more colourful characters in the game. 3 goals forward at 1-3. Jack Gunston, will he be part of the last quarter? Signs are good there. It's the Hawks by 4. Easter Monday delivering yet again on Fox Footy. And we'll deliver you the best analysis tonight with Gary and Jerry from 360. Sam and Chris join in live from the G from 6:30 tonight. And then Jack Revolt, Tom Hawkins, Jordan Lewis and Nathan Buckley give their version of not just today but the whole weekend of footy right here on the couch.
All right, there we go, folks. 3/4 time here at the MCG. Hey, Gisella, mega love shout out. Good to see you in here. I've got to get over and pop over and see you not too far away. Good to hear. You're doing good. But I tell you what, the Hawks with Ginnivan kicking that goal after the siren. Well, that's put Hawthorn in front, turning into the home straight for the final quarter. 10-9-69. The Cats 10-5-65. It's the Hawks by 4 solitary points here at the MCG. Who's going to win? I tell you what, it's a ring-a-ding-ding game coming up in the final term. Of course, 57% of the live chat have gone for Hawthorn, and they're in front at the present time. I tell you what, it's anyone's game. The pressure rating from both sides was pretty good there. They both got up around the 190 mark. Of course, I think the season average, AFL average for the pressure acts are about 176, somewhere around there. So both teams doing really well. The pressure's going on, a little bit of fumbling going on from both sides. So It's probably going to come down to who can just hold their composure a little bit more in this final term. I tell you what, this packed out crowd here at the MCG, the crowd's going berserk when either team gets the ball, kicks the goal. Tell you what, there's a lot of cheering going on out there. It's fantastic. The atmosphere is electric at the MCG. Tell you what, this is what we come to expect between these two sides, Hawthorn and Geelong. Always a tight match. And of course, on a perfect day out here, sunny day, 19 degrees at the MCG here in Melbourne. The fans are in for a fantastic final quarter coming up in around 3 minutes' time. Of course, there we go. The Cats leading at quarter time, half time, but the Hawks have turned the tables. They kicked 3 goals for in that third term, Hawthorn. The Cats could only manage 1 goal 3. There we go. All right, let's pop on over. Hey, now we showed the live ladder at half time. If you remember what that was like. Now let's have a look at the live ladder, folks. If the game stands as is, Hawthorn will jump up there into 5th position. And the Cats will go down in 11th. I think if the Cats were winning, the tables would flip. I think they were about 7th and 9th. Hawthorn were down there in about 9th or somewhere down there. Or 11th, I think, if Hawthorn lost. But there we go. Hawthorn in front. They're in the top 6. They're sitting 5th at the moment on the live ladder. Hawthorn fans hoping for that to continue. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers up until 3/4 time. For the Cats, Shannon Neal, the big man, he's kicked 3 straight goals. Oliver Henry's got a couple with Jack Bowles, and singles to Wiltshire, Jack Martin, Oliver Dempsey, and of course for the Hawks, Jack Gunston's 3 goals, 3. Nick Watson, 2 goals. Jack Ginnivan, 2 goals with that goal after the siren. Josh Weddle, I tell you what, he's having a great game there. He's kicked a goal. Mitchie Lewis has a goal, and Melbourne Chop. Be interesting to see what happens with Jack Gunston. Looks like he did partially a hammy on the lead out of the goal square on a lead. Had a bit of work done, so we'll see if he continues in this final term. Just looking at the top possession getters, we've got 3 in the 20s. Bailey Smith leads the way on 28 disposals for the Cats. 20 kicks, 8 handballs, 4 clearances. Tanner Braun next best for the Cats on 20. And of course, the leading for Hawthorn, Josh Ward on 25. Second on the table there. 11 kicks, 14 handballs, 4 tackles, 2 clearances. They are your top stats at the moment. But we are going to head back down to the ground. We're a minute away from the final quarter. Tell you what, folks, who's going to win? 62% now saying Hawthorn's going to win this game. It's only 4 points of margin, but this game is up for grabs here at the MCG. We're in for an absolute ring-a-ding-ding final quarter. That's enough for me. Let's head back down to the action, down to the commentators, 30 seconds away from the bounce of the ball, and that's where they'll take us into the final quarter, where it's the Hawks by 4 points.
Hawthorn lead it by 4 points here. Easter Monday Classic. Cameron Mooney is down on the boundary. So much concern about Jack Gunston moves.
Yeah, just sitting here watching it right now. Howie, he's just heading down to the forward line as we speak. So clearly he grabbed his hamstring late in that quarter. Kingy called. He's on the lead. He grabbed for that right hamstring. He's been down with the doctors and the physios for the rest of the term. But as we can see there, he's getting a lot of work on that hamstring. And there's no doubt if they were concerned, they would not be playing him. So they've given us the okay from the Hawthorn Footy Club. And as we speak, he's walking down there. This is going to be a great finish to a great game, boys.
It's a little unusual, isn't it, with a hamstring, Joey?
Yeah, it certainly is. You can play with these tiny little sort of, they're called like fascia little nicks, where it's more not so much in the muscle. That was definitely heat that they just rubbed into it. Try and keep him warm, get him through this game, and then they'll assess him properly on Monday. But game up for grabs, Keggy.
He probably kicks 3 in the last just to add further intrigue.
So who you got, Geelong or Hawthorn? Edwards, what an experience for him in his 3rd game. He stood up well, he got the tap to get things started here. And the follow-up was good as well from Holmes, and then forward. Wilshire to Myers. Can he give one of his trademark assists? The tie from Martin, spectacular. Not the result he was after. Battle partially through. MP able to close it all up.
I like what the Hawks did that 3rd quarter. I thought they, again, controlled the majority of that play. Got a bit more reward for effort late. So I think the Hawks are really comfortable with where the game's at the moment in regards to the way they're playing.
They lead by 8 at quarter time. Geelong by 9 at half time. Hawthorn 4 to the good. Impey has been absolutely outstanding. Provided run and dash and kept Manor out of the game. Not his best kick though. Sullivan all the way back to DeConey. Now the Cats can reset. And Connor O'Sullivan with another intercept. Sicily comes from behind. Oh, Edwards! He's got some athletic traits. Lays it off to Myers. Little poker is effective. And Henry can go back for his third, but Edwards is starting to make statements.
The growth of this young man today has been frightening. Look at that. Through the pack. Takes all comers. Sicily comes off second best. A huge goal this.
Ollie Henry's already kicked 2. Kicks the belly of the pool, so it goes right up in the end. Newcomb doesn't want to stand underneath it. Battle. Crumbs. Barris kicks strongly on the left. Down towards Mitch Lewis. Tries to hold off his man. Sullivan did well to get the spoil in. Good contest.
He's coming in trouble. Yeah. He's coming for the ground. I reckon it's a right shoulder. He's made some strong contact with Edwards coming the other way with his big frame.
Edwards again, just growing in confidence. Dempsey with his normal little bit of magic to Bruin, to Myers from the pocket. Ryan.
You know what? He had options, and they're looking at him. He's usually team first. He had them in the corridor. Neil was his man.
Impey to the members' side. Looks for Meek as we're just having a look at James Sicily collected in that mark from Edwards. Good mark by Lloyd.
Yeah, he's just talking to the doctors down here, Howie. He's just talking about the impact on that right shoulder.
Oh, Bailey Smith's got a hand on it. He's coming up for possession 29, and there it is. Wasn't there anyone in particular, Watson, nor was that. Butler back to Watson. Uses his pace to get out of a little phone box. Ginnivan. Butler does well to gather. Hawthorn under pressure. Ward. Perez. Now Battle. Start to open up now, but they drop it at the wrong time. Big error made in the middle of the ground. Of all people, John Newcomb spilled it.
Yeah, just caught O'Sullivan come off his man at the last second. He wanted to get it and move it on. Just took his eye off it. That's all it is. The way this game's being played, how hot it is.
Another brilliant tap from Edwards. And it's Holmes who kicks to equal numbers. Neil's behind. Big jump from Barris. And the umpire has seen it as a push in the back. Scrimshaw along the line. Hawthorn's lead is 3. They've just been on the back foot for now. Early minutes of the final term.
Weddle working in the corridor. He's trying to get it to him.
And that's a beautifully weighted kick. Seeing it was one thing. Executing it another. Ginnivan takes it on as well. They have the numbers, and they have Perez. First game as a Hawk. And his kick, not bad. Sits well for Impey. He's been delivering it in there all day. Now Newcomb tosses it up. Not easy to mark that. Guthrie spilt it. Watson going every which way. And the umpire says it's holding the ball.
Gee, they look dangerous when they find corridor, the Hawks, though. I mean, that's another opportunity. Yeah, hard to tell. Certainly had the rough end of the pineapple today, the Hawks.
Myers, 19th disposal. Looks to the middle. A little peculiar kicking action. He's good to Dempsey. Now to the runner of Holmes. Perez commits himself, gets back. Great tackle on Henry. Now Well. They want to get it back in the hands of Well if they can. Myers just stopped his run through the middle of the ground. Was clever. Newcomb, Smith, the 2 number 3s. Smith wins it. Dempsey forward hand pass. Wiltshire back to Dempsey. The run continues. Atkins, they go forward again. Smith runs through. Myers has got one high. Hawthorn fans starting to get a touch agitated. Says the coach.
And fair enough. Myers' kick is short. D'Ambrosio, listen to the crowd. D'Ambrosio's kick is stylish and effective. It rattles the chest of Watson over the top to McDonald. There is a way forward, but he decides against Geelong getting a framework back.
Just missed the last few grind Myers. Just play a bit more of the percentages.
Fitness test pre-game today. Bit of a worrying knee. He's had 20 disposals. Ambrosio does the full AFL 360 and then kicks and gives Henry a good look. He made the contest. Barris, a fumble. Every single contest matters, and matters so much. Scrimshaw to Weddle, takes off, plan undefined. Brought down in the tackle. Atkins keeps his feet and able him to handball to Wilshire. Through to Smith, been running all day, still powering on. Jack Martin over battle. No, not quite. Cameron. Somehow, it's in. And the Cats are back in front.
Well, they've just bludgeoned that forward in the end. It was contest, it was ugly, it was take territory. You thought Martin was going to take the mark. They just evaded, as you can see on the Harvey Norman replay, they just evaded a really promising Hawthorn counterpunch here. And again, it's Smith turning up and just creating the extra overlap runner, Joey, that gives them the advantage.
Yeah, eventually they made them pay the Cats, but the Hawks have got no one to blame it themselves. The last 3 or 4 opportunities, Newcomb fumbled twice. Weddle just getting caught in the tackle. They've had options. They just haven't had the composure to be able to finish their plays. Geelong hung around, applied pressure, and eventually they were able to get on the end of it and put the score on the board.
8 lead changes.
Shannon Neal just getting his right groin worked on at the moment, Howie.
Meek, aggressive jump in the middle. Nash didn't take possession. Now camps on a couple of Cats. Holding the ball. Hawthorn fan respond. I think he tries to provide the run. Nash. We haven't seen Gunston on a full-speed lead yet to test that hamstring. And he's straight to Stewart.
Yeah, this is where he comes into his own. Late in game, everyone else gets a little bit fatigued.
Full stretch. Let's see the Bowes kick this time. Wow, expectations rise. Bowes, he had Henry, and that's the man he chooses, and he had a decision to make about whether to play on and roll, but he's going to go back, take the responsibility and take the time.
Shoot. Myers then, he bites off Corridor.
And he gets it right, and he's so destructive. Ollie Henry, 4th season as a Cat. His first 2 years were very productive. Last year found himself out of the team when the finals came around. Been in and out already this year. Today's a big day, and this is a big kick. And it's etched all over his face. And it rings around the MCG. 2 in a row to Geelong. And they're back to 9 points in front. 3rd goal, Ollie Henry.
Well, that's what happens in these games. Tight, 4th quarter, the class rises to the top. So it was Stewart first of all. And then Myers, who, as you said, he had 21 touches, but only 1 score involvement. It hadn't been a grind Myers type of day up until that kick there. That opened up the whole field for Geelong. So right now, it's where your best players for your team stand up. They find a way to impact, even if it hasn't been their day. This is why you pay the big bucks to the best players.
I just think Corridor has been the game. Geelong threatened Corridor straight back at Hawthorn. Traditionally a wide counter-punch team, but the run from Bowes, the run from Smith, it's just having a bearing.
Sicily strapped up, looks like he's right to come back on. Bailey Smith, 31 disposals. Leads all comers.
Sean Manners come up around the stoppage. Just see there, he's got 2 disposals for the whole game. Sean Manor, incredible. He was the hero Easter Monday last year.
He spent time on him. He's had 23. Atkins, more in hope than anything else.
One of those days where you're happy you've signed the contract already, Joey.
Reeves. Scrappy little passage. Broken up. Lewis. Chol. Dishes off. Dylan Moore hooks it back round the body. And the Hawks miss an opportunity. A couple of misses for Moore.
Minutes 34.
This is where Blitzards becomes important as a ruckman. He's now working over Ned Reeves through the middle of the ground. Almost an extra midfielder now.
Holmes' kick hangs up and made it awfully difficult for Bruin, and Lewis does well. And James Sicily is returning down there, Moons.
Did you see my golden fist? It's amazing.
Sorry, I missed it. Geelong by 8. Ground in complete shade now, late on this Easter Monday, as tackle slips a little high on Newcomb. Good lead from Lewis. It was decisive. And he's given the instructions to go back and have the shot. This is well within his capabilities.
It's got to take your moments now. That's what's going to come down to the last 12 minutes of footy. This is big. The half opportunity, really. A low percentage shot from outside 50, but the Hawks would love this one.
9th season, Mitch Lewis, been racked by injury. He's actually played the Cats 4 of the last 14 times. He's done injuries a couple of times against them. 3 goals in that preliminary final last year. One of them was very similar to this. Can he get the same result? 60 metres. He doesn't have the direction. It took a couple of goes. It's through for a minor only.
All the experience of Stewart. Neil. Myers front and centre. Swoops on it to Manor. A rare possession. His moment could still come. Pokes it out in front of Blitzard. He's got Henry beside him. He's already kicked 3. He's out. Ball's in. Bowes continues to keep the ball in play, but eventually they run out of room.
And there's the extra midfield runner in Blitzards getting involved as a ruckman. Small assets, just minimal advantages. The Cats are trying to force that upon their opposition.
Taking it up to the big tall Hawks rucks today. They've worked well in tandem this year. Reeves with his turn down to Ward. Risk on the kick. Got over the head of Blitzards and more. Guthrie a little more experience. Perez, what an experience. The 2 young Hawks there together. Perez and Dalton. And they'll have a ball up and a chance to get a quick breath. Geelong by 7. Hawks up in the clearances this quarter. Only just though. Guthrie to Bruin. This one's going Geelong's way. Left-hand handball out in front of Smith. He got the bounce. He tried to shape the kick. Awkward for Scrimshaw. Doesn't kill it yet. Footy's still alive. Deep in the pocket, Scrimshaw retrieves, this time by hand. And away from McDonald, safely taken by Moore. And time to press go, he goes to Ward.
To the interior, this is an important kick. Ward has got a long lead. Lewis has provided plenty of run. D'Ambrosio looks for Gunston. This time he tests the hammy. Fist came in from Stewart. Big moments in the game here. Back the way of the Hawks. Some fortune. D'Ambrosio shrugs one tackle. Not sure what to do. Ward, he's got Chol deep. Wants it central. They go towards Big Marmy. Oh! Sets himself. Can't reel it in. Gunston. Touch ball. And again, it's Stewart, as it so often is.
Just patrolling the back 50, isn't he?
Yeah, now's the time to put someone to him, because he's just going to own that sweeper role. We've seen him do it for the best part of 8 years.
Fatigue becomes a factor soon.
Oh.
Humphries clean. Bruin back playing footy and has made an impact for Geelong so far this year. The kick was clean too. A rarity, Manor with a possession. And he delivers it to O'Sullivan. He can't hold on, but he gets the whistle. O'Sullivan.
He just came off the bench, O'Sullivan.
Saw it, also on his range. Blitzards! The Blitz! In game 299! The man that can do just about everything. Even it seems a left foot snap in the last quarter. Late on Easter Monday.
And they're the advantages we're talking about. He's like an extra midfielder. He's just hunting after the footy, and Reeves can't go with him. I mean, not many ruckmen are going to be able to. That's why this is such a luxury. You can just see Reeves, he's there, but it's just the 2 metres off. It's a quality snap on the left.
Can you look up how many of them he's done in his career?
Yeah, I don't think there'd be too many. Let's just say he's never done it before, Hutto, and roll with it.
This is what they did last week against Adelaide Geelong when they wore them down. They put blitz halves basically into the ruck for most of the quarter and said, go run the opposition ruckman off their feet. Mitch Edwards has been on the bench for 9 minutes now, and he's turned to blitz halves. That's Chris Scott.
All of a sudden, the Cats out to 13 points with the last 3 in what's been a tight game. It's their biggest lead of the match. Hawthorn need to respond. Butler, maybe he's trying to calm Stewart. Steps him. Left foot, Pearcer. Out the back, Chol. Enormous crowd here. 84,712 on Easter Monday.
Time for Wizard Watson to get involved.
Latar's rucking at the other end with Reeves. To Koning, just shoved it out. Here he is, the number 5. That's why they call him the Wizard. Three goals from 6 kicks. And it's back to 7.
But you have to watch him, Joey. I mean, at stoppages, he's just getting a couple of metres. And in the end, it was an error from the catch, but he stays involved. Look, he's thereabouts. Mullen's doing a great job. He just blocks off.
Half a second,
that's all he needs. 2 more moments from this guy and he'll win him the game. Edwards back into the ruck. Gunston back on, going forward. Newcomb fresh after a little spell on the bench. The Hawks, it's go time now. Got to attack the game.
Playing in front of their 3rd highest home and away crowd in the history of the club, the Hawks.
What a sight over the city and over this ground.
Easter Monday, another classic. Reeves, Edwards been impressive. McDonald jumps into the middle and extracts it. Hawthorn pushing forward. Child coming from behind Lewis. Good fist from De Koning. Stewart overruns it. Child should stroll in, and he does. It's the Child stroll, and the Hawks go bang bang, and it tightens up again.
Gunston versus Stewart on that occasion. I like that matchup. I think he has his way with kids. But when you're against some experience like Gunston, you've got to make every post a winner. He just misses a step. And Gunston gives him half a shove, and it's enough. It's not enough to pay a free kick, but it's enough to take him off the line.
The centre-bounce work was brilliant too. Reeves for McDonald to cut through. And then just lost the footy. Momentum now back with the Hawks.
And the lead back to 1.
What a game.
What a game. The immensity of the occasion. Not lost on anyone, not lost on Marby or Child, that's for sure. Back to Edwards, who overplayed. Play on was the call. Reeves brings him down. The Catman can barely watch. Reeves towards Ward, and Atkinson found a way. Myers versus Ginnivan. 7:48 is all that's left. And another brilliant episode in an ongoing series which Geelong have dominated in recent years. Edwards, held in the contest, takes the 3. They hold for now up ahead. Sicily was in front, he got help from Barris. Atkins, not the bounce he was after. Empey. Instinctive handball to Newcomb. His left foot is not quite there for Butler. Humphries instead. He wasn't sure what was ahead, and that's why. Because the big frame of Tom Barris, and he wants the middle, and he gets McDonald, and it's all ahead for Hawthorn, and the Hawthorn fans want more. And he kicks it to Joel.
Wow, that's the counter punch off intercept that Chris Scott was talking about with us in the pre-match. As soon as Barris takes the mark, he looks corridor, he looks inboard. Offside runners ready to go. How exciting. What a moment for Marbial right now.
2 goals won and a couple of score assists on a big day. Even for a man as relaxed as Marby or Child, he'll be feeling it. He'll be knowing it. The lead depends on his left foot. And the Hawks fans can't believe what they've seen. Tied up again. 84 apiece.
84,712 on the edge. Joel can't finish.
Oh.
Very wide, too wide. So the Hawks will go again here. Had a good little patch after Geelong got out to 13. Hawks responded with the next 2. Impey, happy just to bomb it long. Charles the flyer! Well, would you back him for the kick from here, Charles? He's kicked one this term, he's missed one. And he gets his moment again. Are you backing him, Kingy?
Yeah, he won't miss this one.
Joey?
He'll kick this. You just saw it was Tanner Bruin and Lawson Humphries, a couple of smalls that didn't fly with him.
Joel, moments ago missed. Plays on and misses again. He wants to earn points. Hawthorn fans can't believe it. Joel misses 2. You'd hope he'd kick. And those 2 points lead to a 1-point margin.
Wow. Boy.
Blitzar's just back on the ground.
Blitzard and the Koning's on the bench as well.
Yeah, it's screaming for it out wide. Ginnivan made it a contest, but Blitzar's prevails. What's happened since that left foot goal he kicked? It's gave the Cats a decisive advantage. Right now it's Hawthorn by a point. Blitzar's kick along the line. Henry worked Sicily under it. Impey's been massive today, and he's big again.
Gee, that was a big call for the umpire there.
The old rule, wasn't it? Couldn't come into play.
We've been the most popular 4 people in the venue today.
Tick over 5 minutes is all that's left for us to enjoy and for the players to endure. Edwards with the tap. At his feet, it's Newcomb. Well done, Cameron and Smith and Holmes. 3 of the Cats stars to Manor. Quickly over the top to Martin. Around he goes, waits for no one. Belly of the ball again. Dempsey in the wrestle. Barris is huge. Lost his feet and Neil loses his grip. And it's 4:44 left.
Challenge now for all the players just to keep their heads, keep cool, think through what they're trying to do here. Everyone's tired, fatigued, pressure.
And I watch Manor at these stoppages.
Battle holds Cameron. Reeves didn't want to pick it up. That's a dangerous ball. It's a horrible ball. Holmes unusually plays on. Flicks it across. And Blitzard misses. No one wants to win the game.
The umpire called play on. He had to go. He had to go, Holmes.
They said not 15. Great smother from Jarman Impey.
We've had some interesting not 15 calls today. That was another one.
Yeah, Blitzard was on the left, no problem on the right. Major issue.
Back to the wing they go again. Edwards versus Reeves. Newcomb, can he release the hands? No! Max Holmes has got Henry on the inside. He went for Cameron.
Yeah, take the shot. This is where you need your superstars to stamp themselves. Hasn't had the day by foot that he would want, but they would want no one else to have the ball but Jeremy Cameron.
Too far out even for this man to snap. So he's going to have to go back. 18th on the all-time goal kickers list in this game. Went past Stephen Kernahan a couple of weeks ago. There's cameras, there's phones. All the eyes on him. Jeremy Cameron to put Geelong back in front. It's going to fall short. Almost Shannon Neal. Barris just seeps it through. What about a draw as an option?
Plenty of time, Hutto. Plenty of time.
Oh, they're going.
They go for the set play.
D'Ambrosio bangs it to Hardwick. It's perfect. What's he got further ahead? Gunston's on a long lead, testing the hammy. They drop it short. Every moment is massive. 3:22 on the clock, all square. 8 lead changes already.
Get it to the open side and they'll expose them for run again. They've done it the last couple of times.
This is an important kick.
Oh,
They don't go scrimshaw. They bring Cameron into it. Front on contact. They want to be careful they don't give 50 here, the Cats.
Jeez, don't know if he got the arm.
Battle to Ginnivan. Cats are well set up. Ahead of the footy. Ginnivan needs something short, and it comes in the form of Newcomb. Drops it. Made a real mess of it. Puts his teammate under pressure. Small errors create massive moments. Ginnivan tracks it back. Small errors, massive moments. Blitz halves. Sends it out on the full.
Gee, Giant Newcomb's had a mare of a fourth quarter. Some of the mistakes that he's made, fumbles, drop marks, turnovers, nearly costly. They've got away with one.
They're still going for it though, the Hawks. They're trying to challenge Corridor.
Barris goes for Meek. Lewis in marking support. There's a bit of field. There's a Geelong free. The support turned in to a Geelong ball instead. And it goes to Sullivan, who bangs them to full forward. Jack Martin with a lead, but Shannon Neal at the back. Somehow it got through.
Can we say it's probably in the safest pair of hands for a shot at goal?
I'm not sure commentators are allowed to say one thing or the other, Joey. But Shannon Neal, he is Geelong's.
Well, Mark Yours missed two of these.
Yeah.
He's kicked three. Shannon Neal missed the most important of the day, and it gives Geelong the lead by a goal. Four goals for Shannon Neal. The Cats by 6, setting up an incredible 94 seconds to decide this once and for all.
Well, he had been striking them beautifully all day. And he got the mismatch. Battle was caught out of position. Just too strong for Hardwick.
Well, centre bounce to provide some great opportunities today. We saw Newcomb, we've seen McDonald step out. They've put the Wizard in for this last one. Trying to get their forwards to pull back deep, open up the front of the square and see if they can charge out the front door. All systems go.
Sicily on a wing. He's going to charge forward.
Watson looking to get ahead of the tap. They go back to Newcomb. Centre clearance the way of the Hawks. Who can be the hero forward? Weddle bounces to the back. Gunston, Humphreys. Important disposal coming up. Hooks it around straight to McDonald. Not sure it carried. Drops it. Oh, Mitchie Lewis. Here's his moment, the number 2. Directly in front. Clock continues to tick. Simply has to go back to tie the scores. Mitch Lewis directly in front. All square at the MCG. With less than a minute on the clock. The game everyone was hoping for on Easter Monday.
Wow.
Reeves to Newcomb in the middle.
It's the centre. They've got the advantage, Hawthorn, with the centre bounce.
Well, they have, but what do you do now? Both teams effectively playing to win. Centre bounce give you obviously the massive advantage, 6 on 6.
So interesting to watch. Sicily's going to go back into defence.
Yeah.
They're going to put Watson back in the middle.
Yeah, so they're both trying to open up the front of square. The Hawks have created enormous space. The Cats not as much. The biggest clearance of the day.
The volume is at 10 at maximum. 51 seconds to decide this. Edwards and Atkins. The strength to get it to Holmes. Geelong will get first play. 40 seconds to go. Sicily, the captain, comes calling, and he kicks it to Impey, to Newcomb. Long, is there a mark? Weddle leaps at the back. Mullen batters it away. Any score. Quick kick Butler. Holmes. Cats can't give it up. Henry goes to ground. Butler goes down. Like Jimmy Martell all those years ago. Is that the winning point?
The Cats play on immediately. should be in for the Hawks. Gunston with a poster. A famous poster for Jack Gunston. And the Hawks finally beat the Cats on Easter Monday by a point. There's been so many classics between the sides. And this one's right up there. A poster to decide Easter Monday.
Sam Mitchell's face said it all, didn't it, really, in his 100th game? So many times they've fallen short of the Cats, but not this time. What a game.
Incredible game of footy. Two quality teams that are going to be there in September. They both had their momentum. They both had stages where they looked like they were going to win. And the Hawks, they just found a way late. They dug in. Sicily going back to defence after being on the wing. The centre bounce before was huge. Impey then to take off and just put the Jets on. And Gunston found a way. There's the coach on the side. What a relief that would be.
That was an amazing game. One of the great games of AFL footy. Two heavyweights just throwing blow after blow. Fantastic. Cam Mooney.
We're on attack. Can't even hear ourselves down here at the moment. That is one of the great games that we've seen in a long time. You've done it, Jimmy Bartell. You've done one of the great points of all time.
Oh, I'm normally dirty on myself for kicking points. Nice to get a little toe poke. It was pretty frantic then, but I said to Jack Dalton as we were walking out at half-time, I said, mate, only finals top sis. What an atmosphere. Yeah, it's nice to be on the right side of it for once. I've lost my fair share of Easter Mondays.
I was going to say, it has been a long time, and the record does sit pretty well at Geelong, but mate, that is an unbelievable win today, but more importantly, it's a big win for this footy club.
It is. Like, I've got full respect for Geelong. Everyone talks about Hawthorn and Geelong hating each other, but I swear every year I play Geelong are at the top of the ladder, so look, it means something to beat these guys. They're a quality outfit, they're a quality footy club, and even if it's by 1 point, it's great.
What about the hamstring? What happened there? Was it a little cramp or you actually did it?
Hopefully it's a bit of cramp. I seem to run around all right late, so a bit of carry on.
What about young Wiz? They were a couple of the great goals that we've seen.
Oh, mate, they're not even flukes. Like, he actually practices them, trains them. He does them all the time, and he's so low to the ground. He's so nippy. I'm glad he's on our team.
When the pressure was really on and everyone was making mistakes, were you still confident that you could get the job done?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they got maybe 2 goals ahead with 6 minutes, 7 minutes to go. So we knew we were going to get a momentum surge and was just making the most of our opportunities, which we did poorly today.
All right, go and enjoy the win, brother.
Here's another look at the winning behind. Straight into the post.
Well, they just had to attack for the last 90 seconds. They just had to take the game on. They've trained for this, the 2-minute drills we talk about have been legendary at football clubs over the last few years, and they knew exactly what they were capable of, and Impey taking off and Sicily taking intercept mark.
Not sure Max Holmes should have been allowed to play on so quickly there, actually. Anyway, it's by the by. Back down to you, Moons.
Well, Nick, you just said this is just unbelievable. It's so loud down here, you can't even hear yourself think.
Yeah, correct. That last quarter, never heard anything louder. Maybe the prelim, but yeah, it was loud. So thanks to the Hawks Army for coming out today.
How big of a win is it for this club? I spoke to Jarman Impey before the game about, is this group ready? It's got all the pieces. Is it ready? Does it feel like it is today?
Yeah, it was a bit clumsy at times. That 18-day break probably didn't help that, but yeah, we're ready. We started the season slow against the Giants, but we're starting to pick up the pace now, and it was good to get that one on the board.
You've come up with 2 of the best goals that we'll see on Easter Monday. I mean, let's just walk through the first one on the left down here. I mean, how much do you practice those?
To be honest, I don't practice my left at all. All the boys are trying to give me stick for not practicing my left. I do the outside checky, so that was one for the boys. But the other one, it was just good to see him go through, to be honest.
When you hit that one over there, were you just thinking, yep, today's my day?
Yeah, definitely. But as soon as the left one went in, to be honest, I was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling it.
I was just saying to Jack Gunston, win like this for a young group that's still trying to make its way. How important is it to beat Geelong on a day like this?
Yeah, it is. They've had the stick over us for the last couple of years now. I think they beat 7 of the last 8. So it was good to finally get the win over them. So, as I said pre-game, I was like, I'm sick of losing to Geelong, so it's good to finally get a win.
You lived up to your name today, Wiz. Well done, brother.
Looks a little different, doesn't it, in the Geelong rooms, but...
Well, they'll be disappointed with their execution at the end to not be able to get that right. But, I mean, they're not going to lose any admirers for the way they played today.
There's a lot of mistakes, wasn't there, by both teams? Yeah. And in the end, the moments again. And now finally, Joey, after it feels like an eternity,
they get some parity.
Played the same number of games.
Every team has now played 4 games, and there's only one team that's undefeated. And the Hawks jump into that group that have gone 3-1 to start the season. Big win for them today. The way they played opening round against Giants, it was uncharacteristic, but they've been able to find their groove. Leaves the Cats at 2-2. But that's the quality of footy we're getting from the best teams this year, King. A lot of talk about some of the not-so-great games and some of the bottom 6 teams, that when good teams play each other, this is what we're getting treated to. So we just have to enjoy when they do meet.
Jack, he's just like a little kid, isn't he?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, he's playing like a young man too. Like, he's defying logic with what he's been able to do. 3 goals, 4. He's just been everything for them in the forward half. But when you look through their lineup, it really even spread. I think the coach will be thrilled with how they've won the game. It hasn't been 1 or 2 stars. It's been system, method, take your opportunities. They didn't really take them all day. Had the umpiring go against them for a large part. I reckon they had to fight, swim against the tide for a bit and found a way.
And that's probably the difference, I think, when you look Hawthorn, much more even team spread. Geelong, uncharacteristic, had a lot of passages today. You know, when you think about Sean Manor having no influence whatsoever, Brad Close was quiet again. Atkins was down. I know he was trying to get to Newcomb as much as he could. Ollie Dempsey didn't really have an influence, so just didn't have their same firepower from those half forwards and wings and mids that they usually get.
Jack Justin's so good, he can pull a hamstring and still kick the winning score.
We'll have a look at that point again. Geelong had the chance to try and clear it right here. Henry either had to hold it or whack it out of the area. He just dropped it, which kept it live, and that's all the Hawks needed. Quick thinking there to kick it out of mid-air as well. Would have been one of the great goals if that had gone through.
I think Chris got nailed at the pre-game. As soon as Sicily took that mark at centre-half back, the runners were already gone. You have to be ready to defend before you lose possession of the footy, and they weren't. And it's late. It's 120 minutes in. It's a hard thing to achieve.
What a debut for Jack Dalton, from East Sullivan, Xavier Boy, and what a
I don't think many play in better debut games than what he's just played. Let's see a couple of his mates at the ground.
Hawthorn haven't had a debutant since round 10, 2024. So
he was good.
He was.
He held his own, absolutely.
Yeah, he did some things. See, Marvio's got some work to do on his goal kicking because, if they hadn't been rolled here, it would have been the story. You know, it's a cool-looking run-up and all that sort of stuff, but its effectiveness is challenged at times.
And there were some big calls today, wasn't there? The no 15 call, which both teams copped. There was one late where Holmes, it was definitely no 15 and not touched.
Yeah, called no 15.
Okay. Kick off the ground, quick kick squeezed out. Umpire said not 15.
I don't think the Geelong fans can...
No, they definitely can't.
They're on the wrong side, I don't.
Just got to throw a couple of examples up. There's the Cats. Bailey Smith, 33 disposals. He could barely have done much more.
Yeah, they were crying out for one of Cameron or Dempsey or even Brian Myers, who'd misfired a few times through the course of the day, to just have a moment late. And for whatever reason, couldn't do that. And in the end, that's what separated the game. And the Hawks' ability to counter-punch at speed through the corridor, probably 6 times during that last quarter, really challenged the Cats. Just an awesome spectacle, really. You can't whinge about this game.
Josh Battle, I thought again, did a terrific job. Jeremy Cameron, just not himself in recent weeks. He's sort of been down. His numbers look okay, but didn't really have any influence. I thought Barris, again, stood tall when they need him. Game high 10 intercept possessions.
It's got to hold firm, don't they, until the return of Will Day, and they'll look at a different model again in the midfield and potentially have more strike power.
Carl Amon was a big out for them. Carl Amon, even Chris Scott mentioned pre-game how important Amon is to their offence and that counter-punch. So hopefully they get him back. Cam McKenzie as well.
I'm trying to get Sam Mitchell to lead them off a bit there. I think in his 100th game, but he was having none of it. Instead, the youngsters, Flynn Perez and Jack Dalton, wearing the Hawthorn jersey for the first time at AFL level. Second time around for Flynn to the Kangaroos, and then went to South Australia where he got his love for footy back. And they're sharing a moment they'll never forget on this day. Play for one of the big superpowers of the competition. And the fine line on such a close day. The contrast from the opposition rooms to here in the Hawks sheds where they've gone 3-1. That's 3 wins in a row after a stuttering start in opening round. Sam Mitchell now has a perfect 50% record. With their injury concerns during the day, James Sicily to get the left shoulder strapped along to match the right. And with his co-captain John Newcomb, and go the debutants. And after 5 consecutive losses against the Cats, that's the team that has really dominated them. They'll enjoy this. They will be delirious. The team at Hawthorn.
All right, folks, there we go. It was Hawthorn getting the job done by Jack Gunston's quick kick for that behind. Left about 13 seconds on the clock, but the Cats couldn't get it back down there. 13-14, 92, 14-7, 91 the Cats. The Hawks by 1 in a fantastic finish in front of a crowd of 87,500 people here at the MCG. What a ring-a-ding-ding game. I tell you what, the Hawthorn supporters will be pretty glad they got one back on the Cats. Yeah, in the live poll, it was 53% going for the Catters. But the Hawks got the job done. Hey, Addy G. Paul, what's going on, Jack? Thanks for coming in. Tell you what, there was about 5 scoring changes in that final quarter. There was a lot of fumbling. No one wanted to win it. And still, it was a point that got the Hawks over the line, not a goal. The Hawks, however, they kicked 3 goals, 5 in that final term, and the Catters 4 goals 2. Tell you what a fantastic game. That's what we like to see on Easter Monday. This type of game between these two clubs is always fantastic and close game. Before we wrap this up, let's just have a look at the goal scorers. Shannon Neal tops the table out there with 4 goals for the Geelong Cats. Oliver Henry with 3, Jack Bales with 2. Wiltshire bobbed up with 1 with Jack Martin, Dempsey, Jezza Cameron, Blixars, and for the Hawks, Nick Watson ended up with 3 goals for Jack Gunston, Mitchie Lewis, Jack Ginnivan, and Moab Chol, all with 2 goals. Josh Weddle was a single goal scorer. Yeah, Mo Joel missed 2 easy goals in that final term, or the Hawks probably could have won by probably 10 points or so. Just a leading disposal getter out on the ground. There was only one person in the 30s, and of course that was Bailey Smith for Geelong. 33 touches, 22 kicks, 11 handballs, 6 clearances, 5 tackles. He was fantastic there for the Cats. Josh Ward, best for the Hawks out there on 29 disposals, 14 kicks, 15 handballs, 3 clearances. Max Holmes had a pretty good second half. They ended up with 27 disposals. Connor McDonald, 26 for the Hawks. John Newcomb. Impey was fantastic there for the Hawks also with 25 touches, a couple clearances there. Tommy Stewart ended up with 22. Jack Ginnivan ended up with 19 disposals. Probably it was just as well he kicked that goal after the siren at 3/4 time to put the Hawks in front, and ended up, Hawks winning by that 1 point. Let's just roll on down. Jeremy Cameron, 16 disposals, just kicked a 1 goal. 1 goal, 2. So he'll be a little bit disappointed in his game today. Jack Gunston, fantastic there. Tell you what, he's a big component of the Hawthorn Footy Club. Hey, Al, how you doing? 3 goals, 4 for Jack Gunston. Weddle was good in patches with 13. Blixars, 14 touches, 1 goal, 1 for there. There we go. Mo Chol. Mo Chol looked all right, but I tell you what, his kicking was a little bit left to be desired. From 8 kicks, 12 disposals, 2 goals, 3. Sam DeConing there, just at 10 touches. Of course, Ned Reeves doing well with 28 hitouts there for Hawthorn. And Lloyd Meek, 16 hitouts there for Hawthorn. Mitchell Edwards, 18 hitouts there for the Cats. There we go. Let's just pull up the live ladder. There we go. The Sydney Swans will go all right there, Al, if they keep continuing. They'll go all right. Don't worry about that. It's still early in the year, so still early in the year. Hey, looking at the live ladder now, Hawthorn. If you're a Hawthorn fan, you jump up into 6th position. 6th position, that's right. You're in the top 6 after playing 4. 3 wins, 1 loss. 114 is your percent. And of course, Geelong down in 11th. Wow, makes a difference at 1 or 2 points. 2 wins, 2 losses, a low percentage there of 89.7. They are outside of the top 10. They are 11th, the Catters, at the moment. That is the live ladder. Of course, Western Bulldogs flying at the moment on top of the ladder from Sydney, Gold Coast, Freo, North Melbourne, Hawthorn. Can you believe North Melbourne sitting 5th on the ladder at the moment? There we go. That is the scores. Hey, don't forget, next week it is Gather Round next week. All games to be played in Adelaide next week, folks. All games to be played in Adelaide, and of course that all kicks off Thursday night, where Adelaide take on Carlton at Adelaide Oval. Friday night, one of the blockbusters, maybe not, depends who you barrack for. Friday night football, Collingwood taking on the Fremantle Dockers, Adelaide Oval. Saturday, some games coming up there. North Melbourne taking on Brisbane. That's going to be a cracking game at the Barossa Park in Lyndoch over there in South Australia. Essendon will be taking on Melbourne. Sydney Swans taking on the Gold Coast Suns. Hey, tell you what, that's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game, Al. Sydney and the Gold Coast. And of course, Hawthorn. I tell you what, here is the big test for Hawthorn next week. Next Saturday night, 7:30 at Adelaide Oval. Hawthorn taking on the Western Bulldogs. The top of the ladder, Western Bulldogs. That should be a fantastic game. Make sure you tune on into that. There's some cracking games next week. Of course, next Sunday, we've got Geelong. Geelong, you take on the West Coast Eagles. You would think Geelong should have a victory there and start to climb back up that up the AFL ladder there. So that should be good for them. And of course, the Giants taking on Richmond. Well, that's going to be a game worth missing. Well, it just depends if you're a Giants or Richmond supporter. And of course, to round out, gather around, Port Adelaide taking on St Kilda at Adelaide Oval. Should be pretty good. But there's definitely a few big games there to come. Sydney Swans looking super dangerous. They are looking good. You get Goulden back already. I didn't realise Goulden was going to be back. I thought he was out for a few weeks. I thought he was out for about 6 weeks, but he's coming back. There'll be a big inclusion for the Sydney Swans there, Al. So should be pretty good there. Should be pretty good. 4 months. Yeah, that's right. I thought it was a while for that there. We'll just have to keep a check over the week, see how Gunston pulls up. Of course, he did look like he'd done a little bit of a hammy coming out of the goal square in the third quarter. I went down, got a fair bit of work done on it, got the deep heat put on it, got these massages and all that, but he got back out on the ground. So we'll see what happens. So they'll definitely want Gunston up and about for next week when they take on the Western Bulldogs over there in Adelaide. It should be that's probably going to be match of the round, Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs next week, you would imagine. So definitely worth looking in for that game there. But hey, folks, that's about all I've got for this game. Easter Monday, MCG. Whereas the Hawks, too good in the dying seconds of the game. It was just about a draw, but with 14 seconds to go, Hawthorn put that point on the board, and that was the margin. That was the margin. Certainly an entertaining game, as you can see by the worm here. It was up and down, up and down, up and down. Anyone's game. One of the best games I think we've seen this season so far. Hopefully we see plenty more like it. But thanks everyone for tuning on in. Thanks for coming in, listening to the coverage with us all, and all your chats in the live stream, and all your votes. I'll tell you what, we'll be back next week to cover some more great games of AFL football 2026. It's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding gather around next week, folks. All right, that's all I got for this time around. Hey, thanks everyone. As I said, all I can say is go Pies, but they're not going too well, the Pies, but that's okay. There we go. That'll be a good one, Eddie G, next week. My team take on your team. Let's see who gets that one. But I'll tell you what, match of the round next week, Hawthorn, Western Bulldogs. The Catters next week should have a victory over the West Coast Eagles, and we'll see how it goes from there. All right, folks. Hey, thanks everyone again. This is me, Mike, tuning out. So until next time, hey, ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.